What is poppin', Palaxy? Today on the Bounty Board, we reflect on What If Season 1 to prepare for an awesome What If Season 2, all while having fun doing it. So go on ahead, kick up that warp drive, and let's punch it. Welcome back to the Guardians of the Palaxy podcast, everybody. We appreciate you stopping by. My name is MT, and I'm here with my two greatest friends in the whole wide world, Whitney Van Laningham and Tommy Bechtold. What's going on, gang?
Yeah! I'm so happy to see you guys today. Going into Christmas week. What a Christmas treat.
Good day.
I hope we played some Christmas-themed music, if we can. Everything's copyrighted, so never mind.
Never mind.
But it would be great if we had some Christmas sounds.
We can make up our own Christmas song right now. Christmas bells, jingle, jangle, here comes Freddy Krueger here to mangle. You can't hide from the nightmare, and he'll do Christmas if he can. Gonna slit your throat for Christmas.
I'm not a huge horror movie person, but we need more Christmas-themed horror movies, man. Weird, elves being chased by weird frost monsters. I feel like that would be hilarious.
I like it.
Elves versus frost giants. Who would win?
But speaking of frost giants, what if season 2 is coming? And there was an episode in season 1 where Loki, the frost giant, got left behind with his frost giant family. And Thor got, basically had to grow up without a brother, and that was the Party Thor episode.
Yeah, which just made him more of a frat guy somehow. Not having a brother made him more of a frat guy. I don't know how that works. I don't know what that psychological family dynamic means about that person.
Guys, please don't make me play football coach Tommy. You're going out of order. We have a room.
We are going out of order.
Listen,
I know. That was folks, a terrible transition. Let me just cut this out and let me just start over.
Alexa, leave this. They need to learn. Alexa, don't you touch this. They need to learn. I will take the reins now. Folks, what if season 2 is nigh upon us, creeping up like the cold hand of death, or like the season of Christmas, whatever you want, like Santa approaching silently, like a CIA agent in his sleigh, breaking into your house, touching your stuff, sniffing your underwear.
I was just going to say sniffing your underwear. God damn it.
Like the Panty Raid episode of SpongeBob.
Yes.
It's time for the Panty Raid.
So we're obviously super psyched for the future, but before we can talk about the future, we must remember the past. As Kylo Ren once said, you have to forget the past. Kill it if you have to.
Let the past die.
But I don't want to. I just want to. I want to get the past on Steelbook in case they take it off Disney Plus streaming or Max. But everyone buys Steelbooks now because or regular Blu-rays because your precious content can be wiped off the internet in an instant, removing residual checks from all of the starving actors. Anyway, we began season 1 of What If with an absolute banger. What if Captain Carter were the first Avenger?
Yeah.
Yes.
What if she was?
This was my personal favorite episode, I think. I know it's not necessarily the most dynamic, but I'm just a sucker for Steve and Peggy in any iteration. Right. Even small Steve, even little skinny Steve getting in his getting in his prototype Stark Iron Man suit. You know what? Feed it to me and let me eat. Like too much ham on Christmas Day. Let me just keep slicing off another piece of that relationship.
Honestly, yeah, because it is so nice to see that Peggy didn't like Steve just because he got super buff and super strong.
Yeah, she liked him for him, not for the himbo, for him.
And I think maybe that is subconsciously what I liked about the episode was I was like, it was about a beautiful woman not being superficial.
It's also why I like watching King of Queens. I'm like, big guys have a chance to.
Kevin James is aspirational, honestly.
Right? He's the role model.
Leah Remini in the 90s Ooh, I mean, Leah Remini in the 2020s.
We can turn this into a Leah Remini podcast, bro, because I loved her. My God.
Get
so
Leah Remini,
fine, so fine.
Stacey Carosi from Saved by the Bell, where her father, the voice of Pumbaa from The Lion King, ran the beach resort.
I did not know that. I did not know that. That's a voice actor fun fact.
Yeah, his name's Ernie something. There was a like 4-part like kind of like mini series in Saved by the Bell in one of the later seasons where the gang all went to work at a resort for like the summer, and Leah Remini played Stacey Carosi, a love interest for Zach Morris and Slater. They were both vying for her.
Ooh, love triangle.
She had the same pizzazz and sass that she carried on to the King of Queens. And let me tell you, young Tom Bechtold was smitten as a kitten.
I believe it. I believe it. That sounds truthful to me. Ding, ding, ding.
Speaking of smitten as a kitten, I think we all fell in love with a little bit of heartbreak. In an award-winning performance in one of his last performances, we had What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord, which I think he won a voiceover Emmy for this.
But like that episode was like super cool because like it combined like two of my favorite parts of Marvel's, like Wakanda and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it was just so cool to see, and it was so like almost like so special to watch that episode like post Chadwick Boseman's death, because like we were just hearing his voice. That was his final performance, and like it felt like a hug from like beyond in a weird like way.
I agree. It was just like, I think for a lot of people that really his death in our line of work, it's tough because you have these different relationships with talent that you don't necessarily know them. Sometimes we're lucky enough to get to meet them through junkets and stuff. But other times we just know them because we watch their work so much. But outside of that, then we watch other, supplementary material. And he just seemed like such a beautiful person, and to die so young and to have been so brave and worrying about other people's jobs and not revealing his diagnosis for fear that they would shut down the shoots and 300 people would be out of a job. It's just like, you couldn't think better of a person. And then obviously this huge tragedy happens. And I think his death hit everybody so hard. And it's just,
it really did.
Yes. He won Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance at the 2022 Primetime Emmys. Anyway, not that awards really matter, but a nice recognition, I think, in this case, especially after he had lost the Oscar that earlier that year for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. There was kind of this what happened, like how, we need closure. Those of us that are Chadwick Boseman fans or just fans of hope and good people. So blah blah blah. A little sadder that it needed to be there, but he won an Emmy.
He did win an Emmy. It was super great.
I have a little interesting thing. What are the other normie like fast food jobs that people in the MCU have gotten? Because in that episode we have Peter Quill working at a Dairy Queen, and then we also know that Ant-Man worked at Baskin Robbins, and now we have Sylvie working at McDonald's. Are there any others? Should I did anybody work at Wendy's? Did anybody work at I want to know. I need to know.
I would say off the dome, without knowing, we can eliminate Tony Stark, right? He never worked a real job.
No, he never worked a real job in his life.
Now, I would say, based on the home life of Jennifer Walters, she definitely worked a restaurant job as a teenager.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. You gotta.
But okay, back on the episode. I think that this... No, it's totally fine. I really like this episode because we got to see this heist scenario, or this coming together of all these characters. We had Korathi Pursuer played by
Jaimin Hansu. Come on.
We got Karen Gillan back as Nebula, and it was just so cool to see a different side of Thanos as well, when they all sort of teamed up against the Black Order. Is this the episode where we got seeds of Ego coming back, or did that and him approaching Peter in the when he was working in the fast food restaurant.
At the DQ, you got it.
Because it seems like in season 2 we're getting more of an egocentric narrative, because we're seeing that a lot of universes, Ego did get in touch with Peter, and like bad things were going to happen to the universe because the events of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 didn't happen, where Yondu decided to not bring Peter to Ego in his planet. So like in season 2, it seems like we're getting a bright burn version of Peter Quill going crazy at a carnival and forcing the Avengers to assemble super early in the I think it was the 80s. Yeah, it's definitely the 80s because it's Peter Quill.
Good answer. Now I have to put us in our 2-minute offense because we're doing great analysis, but we're supposed to just recap. So everyone pick an episode. The world lost its mightiest heroes. What if?
Yes, I really love that episode. Like that was the episode where, of course, Hank Pym goes crazy after the loss of his daughter Hope, and he basically assassinates all the Avengers. And it was so cool because we got the visual of the exploding Hulk, which is probably the gnarliest
terrifying
in all of the MCU.
And it satisfied that little itch that us as fans had when we were like, why didn't Ant-Man just crawl up Thanos' butt and explode him from the inside? And it was like, because Hank Pym did it, baby. That's why.
Now, question for you guys. More gruesome, exploding Hulk or Victor Timely spaghettifying, we see rib bones and muscle flesh in Loki season 2?
No, that just made me feel hungry. No, it's definitely exploding.
That was just delicious.
Grosser all the way. Yeah, no. I just wanted spaghetti. After seeing that and the Rick and Morty episode where they eat spaghetti out of people's abdomens, I was just hungry that day.
They just make you a cannibal.
Yeah, I was just like, I am a cannibal and I'm going to eat people's spaghetti for the rest of my life.
Okay, time out. Alexa, I am going to need you to insert at this point that we do not condone cannibalism and that there are the views of some of our hosts do not reflect the views of our show and all of our other hosts. I would never eat another human being if they were alive. Anyway.
Yes. Just because they're delicious doesn't mean you should do it.
Now, how about, maybe the most tragic piece of content in the MCU of all time. What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands?
Oh, man. This was my favorite What If episode. Like, hands down. Yeah. No pun intended.
Nice.
I loved this. It was so beautiful. It was the animated and preview to I've loved you in every universe. Because this was just I have loved you so much that I have I have tried to stop your death in every possible way. I've driven myself to madness. I became Strange Supreme. I got locked in a little purple ball in space. And Christine melted away like a popsicle on a hot summer day, and it broke my heart, and it was so good. It was just such a beautiful portrayal of love. It's kind of like how I feel about Pugsley. I feel like I would do that for Pugsley. I would save him in every universe, no matter what, even if it destroyed the world. Yeah, sorry to my husband, but I love my pug. He's perfect. Brett's already gonna live a long life. He's fine. He's fine. Brett's wonderful, and he's fine. But Brett would save Pugsley too. You
guys better be rock solid. I sealed that marriage with my approval, and I do not fail. All right.
No. That was literally one of my favorite episodes, probably of the entire season. It was just so heartfelt, and honestly, I feel like that episode deserved an Emmy because of how powerful it was.
It was really. When animation can move you like that, I mean, outside of Pixar's manipulation machine where they just know how to make you cry within 10 seconds, when animation can truly make you feel stuff like that, it is incredible. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Speaking of feeling good, we are so blessed to have a new sponsor that we want to shout out. But first, we need to roll our dice to figure out who that new sponsor is.
Who is that sponsor this week? All right.
Yes.
Rolling them bones, buckaroos. All righty. We got 15, which is Man Gilbert's. All right.
What?
I don't know. Is that a real guy or is that a guy that we just made up on the spreadsheet? Do we know?
Well, we were drunk when we made this. Whitney, you and I were pretty drunk when we made the spreadsheet.
Oh, so, I forgot. Okay, yeah.
Might have been a pretty funny joke 2 months ago.
It probably was. It was probably a really funny joke to us 2 months ago. Okay, and then we have number 9, which is catnip. Mossman Gilbert's catnip.
I have no idea who Mossman Gilbert is.
Hey, everybody, I'm Mossman Gilbert. Are your cats acting too wound up? Are your cats running around your house like there ain't no stopping them, like they're on an all-night bender in Vegas trying to double down on blackjack? Nah, Mossman Gilbert's catnip. Chill them cats out. Make them cats calmer than 2 English soldiers in an opium den in 1912, sitting there with an Asian lady giving them a pipe and getting them all calmed down. That's what Mossman Gilbert does with the catnip. We take your cats and we put them near comatose. Your cats will have a resting heart rate of 10 with my catnip. Don't ask me, ask my wife, Moss Lady Gilbert.
Hi, I actually prefer to be called Moss Ma'am Gilbert because I am a ma'am, ladies and gentlemen, and I have to tell you that all 996 of my cats love Mossman Gilbert's catnip. There is nothing that they won't try. There is nothing that they won't do to get their grubby little grabbers on some Mossman Gilbert's catnip.
Them cats love it more than a dog chasing a squirrel after Thanksgiving dinner. You got my guarantee. Use code 911 to call the police.
Code 911.
Call 911 and they will hook you right up to Mossman and Moss Ma'am Gilbert's famous catnip.
All of our inventory is currently being used as evidence in a domestic terrorism case. So you need to call the police to find out how to get that catnip. But remember, if it's good enough for Mossman to eat, and he does, it's good enough for your cat.
Okay.
Excellent.
That's a family that exists somewhere out there. What if Mossman Gilbert was real? That's our episode.
I'm gonna go and Google or figure out why the hell that was funny to us 2 months
I have
ago.
no idea I can't believe that we wrote a joke like that and then just forgot about it. I bet we had a good reason. I bet that Drunk Whitney and Drunk Tommy thought this is a great idea. Man, everyone's gonna laugh so hard at this, and we don't even fucking know what it is.
No. I firmly believe the only way to solve this mystery is for you and us to get drunk again.
Yeah, we have to get drunk again. Get back to that mindset.
We unlock those portals back to the future. All right. So the second half of What If Season 1 had a show that spun off into what we're now going to get, I think, another kind of 4-part miniseries, right? Marvel What If Zombies. Confession time here.
Zombies.
Confession time here. Please don't ever be mad at me. Please don't be mad at me. This is an episode I forgot to watch and I've never seen it.
Oh, it's very good. It is very, very good. It's Zombie Wanda. And she is being kept alive by eating tiny pieces of T'Challa. And this is the one where Scott's head's in the jar, right? Is that this one? Yeah. And Scott Lang's head is in a jar.
But basically, Vision has been like feeding Wanda like, little pieces of like people, I guess. Because for some reason, Zombie Wanda like is sort of like immune or able to control the virus, and like she has more power during the zombie apocalypse. So like it is Vision's stone that is the the antiviral cure. So when the episode ends, like the gang are basically headed to Wakanda to I think broadcast the frequency to the world, and then that's where I think Thanos was waiting for them.
Zombie Thanos with his almost assembled Infinity Gauntlet waiting for them to come. So I think we'll get a continuation of that story in season 2, which I'm very excited about. We better. Oh my God. I love the zombies. I love the zombie work in Multiverse of Madness too. I thought that was great. I want more zombies. Give me more.
More zombie, please. Num, 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 num.
Give me more zombies. I want to make a movie called Zombie Yacht about a below-deck crew that runs a luxury yacht service, and then a douchebag comes to have his bachelor party, and one of his friends catches zombieism through an STI. And then,
oh my God!
There's just paid escorts and douchebags and below-deck crew members fighting off zombie infection on a yacht. It's really just a pyramid scheme for me to get a yacht and shoot a film on it.
Sweet life on death.
Yes.
Sweet life on death.
If you guys want to support my pyramid scheme to shoot a film on a yacht, just we'll talk about it. What if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark?
What if he did?
Bro, this was one of my favorite episodes as well, because like it was just Killmonger being a savage, man. Like it was Killmonger essentially just taking over the entirety of Stark's operations and like killing Tony Stark, and like that part was like super shocking. I was like, holy shit, like he actually killed Tony Stark in his universe. But one of my favorite parts of the episode is when they basically confirmed the connection between vibranium and the new element that Stark discovers in Iron Man 2 that like essentially powers all of Iron Man's suits in like, so many other pieces of technology in the MCU post Iron Man 2, and how like they're sort of connected there. And so like they were basically able to recreate that new element through vibranium. But anyway, it's just, that was basically the seeds for the coming Killmonger Infinity, of course, who ends up making a play for the entire multiverse, who we'll probably be seeing in season 2, which I'm super excited for.
Dude, I thought that was like one of the wildest episodes to me, because there was like an Easter egg a second in that episode.
Yes.
That episode had like more Easter eggs than I think that I counted. When all was said and done, I want to say it was like 75 or something. It was wild like that. Yeah.
It was an Easter egg feast.
Holy shit.
It was just a feast. It was like every single second was either like modeled and slightly altered from the actual like Iron Man movies, like down to like they even had like his jukebox in one scene. It was just so detailed. And then there were also just like a shit ton of like cultural Easter eggs in that episode too. And it was, I loved that one because it was like just a goddamn delight to Easter egg hunt through. It was so fun. I loved it.
It was a great one.
So now we can we did already talk about this, but if you want to briefly add on, we are up to what if Thor were an only child? Party Thor.
I love this episode because of the fight we got between Thor and Captain Marvel. That was some badass shit. Like I loved seeing them, like, because like there was always debate like who would win in a fight, Thor or Captain Marvel, like, and people are like, oh no, like Captain Marvel could never stand up against Thor, but like we see in that episode she's going toe to toe with Thor and ends up defeating him. She ends up having the upper hand until he uses the cheat code of like Odin. It's like, all right, hammer on your chest, you can't go anywhere, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
So like that's cheating, but like if the hammer wasn't in play, I think Carol would have taken him down, man. Like, but like, anyway.
I loved it. She was like, I'm such a bad bitch. We literally have to take this fight off world so that I don't destroy everyone. Yes. She's so cool. She's so cool. She was like, yeah, I can fight Thor, but we cannot have civilians around. They will all get decimated.
It felt very Dragon Ball Z. It's like, we can't fight here. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. I loved that.
It was great. Now, we have the last two are kind of there is a two-parter, if I'm not mistaken, right? We have what if Ultron won, and what if the Watcher broke his oath, which of course is Ultron can see him? Is that what it is? Or it's...
Yeah, so I think what if Ultron won was, so like at the end of the what if Thor was an only child, we have the appearance of Ultron Infinity, and then this episode, in the what if Ultron 1 goes into the, basically like Ultron wins Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, and takes over the entire world. Like everything's devastated, and then Black Widow and Hawkeye have to go. They go and find Zola, and to try to override Ultron, and then that goes into the part 2, which was the Watcher, and like Zola tries to take over, and like because why wouldn't he? Because he's a freaking Nazi sympathizing piece of programming.
That
was a weird choice.
Hate him. Hate Zola. Hate that guy. I mean, love the storyline. Love that it's like hate that guy and his opinions. Though.
But I do love that we got the comic accurate Zola look with him in like the robot suit and the face in the middle.
I was just gonna say I loved the animation of that because it was so classic. I thought it was so cool. I loved it.
Classic.
I like when Mark Hamill does his voice in Avengers Assembled.
Oh, did he?
He did? Oh, what?
Did you know that cartoon ran for like 9 years behind our back? It's all on Disney Plus. There's so many seasons of it.
That's one of those shows that I've been meaning to get to.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
It's really cool. There's a lot of Doctor Doom elements in it. Dracula is a major player.
What? Dracula?
I started Dracula, I think, like, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, comic book fans, Dracula in the 70s and 80s was a pretty big Marvel anti-villain because he worked with the Avengers, but basically Dracula in Avengers canon, like, helped the Avengers because he wanted to he saw like evil people as a threat to him remaining alive. Like, he's like, eventually, like, someone like Dr. Doom will try and kill an immortal vampire like myself. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Dracula most likely not appearing in season 2.
Ah, darn. Why isn't Dracula in season 2 of What If?
What If Dracula is in season 2 will be my ultimate. I'm going to read off the titles of season 2. You guys tell me your top 2 that you're excited for. After I read them all, please. It's like graduation. Don't applaud until I read the last name. What if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas?
Yeah.
What if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster? What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? What if Kahori reshaped the world? What if Hela found the 10 rings? Ooh. What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? What if Strange Supreme intervened?
All of these episodes sound super exciting. I cannot wait for the Peter Quill one because that's going to be pretty insane. Like, I wonder if he's actually going to kill someone. I'm like, I feel like he has to. Like, some Avengers have to die during this attack because, like, you know, Peter Quill with the power of a Celestial is no joke. I'm also very interested in the Kahori reshaping the world episode because I have a feeling that this new character that we haven't seen before in the comics is actually based on a character that we've seen before in the comics, but like no one really thinks about. There's a character called the Shaper of Worlds, who is essentially like a synthetic cosmic cube machine, like a synthetic tesseract machine. And like in this episode of What If in season 2, we know that Kahori is I think their name is pronounced Kahorti actually. Kahorti. Nice. But like I could be wrong.
I hope you're not. Kahorti's cool. I like that.
That is cool.
But yeah, like we know that the Tesseract is central to their powers. They're space manipulating powers. So I feel like we're going to see an adaptation of this Shaper of Worlds character from the Marvel Comics. But I digress. But like, yeah, no, the two episodes that I'm excited for are the Peter Quill episode and probably the Happy Hogan episode, because that looks like a fun time.
Listen. That is Happy Hogan doing a Die Hard, and I could not be more excited. I love
Do you
it.
like Die Hard, Whitney?
I love it. It's my favorite. It's so good. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers! Dude, he better say that. Happy Hogan better put on a sweater that says, ho, 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 I have a machine gun by the end of the episode. Either that or Darcy has to. One of the two.
Yes. I am in hopes that 1602 is obviously probably a play on Neil Gaiman's 1602 graphic novel, which was the characters in the Marvel universe in that time period. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited to see if they adapt that or if they just take that world and create a new story in it. That would be awesome as well. Needless to say, 9 straight days of new content. What more could we ask for this Christmas season? I mean, you guys are both my presents, your friendship. You guys being my pals. That's all I could ever want.
You're a beautiful gift to us, Tommy. We love you.
Well, I live up in the sky now in my heavenly palace.
Wait, were we talking about that before we shot? How like Tommy looks like he's in heaven?
Yeah, before we started shooting, we were like, "Wow, Tommy's like in a little castle in heaven."
Hi, everybody! Bye. I miss you. I'm going back to my home planet now. Well, I think that's it for us, pals. Thank you, MT and Whitney, for chatting it up with me.
Thank
you. My first New York Palaxy podcast.
Yeah.
I gotta say, biggest little city in the world is Reno, Nevada, but the biggest city that's actually appropriately named for its size is the Big Apple. And I'm only 8 hours away from there. New York, baby! Start spreading the news!
Start spreading the news!
East Coast boys, let's go.
Just two sweet little East Coast boys, and I'm all the way out here on the West Coast, and your presence is missed terribly.
We're plotting a live pal meetup. We're gonna get Whit back to New York.
Yeah,
she's got New York roots planted somewhere around here. We're getting Pugsley in the Big Apple. I'm gonna go ice skating. It's gonna be great. You're all my pals, and remember, everyone out there watching, thanks for being a pal, and take care of your pals, and check in on your pals,
especially over the holidays. Check in on your pals, y'all.
Yes,
and don't be afraid to reach out to someone that may need a pal. And become their pal. Because as the guardians of the Palaxy, as the Palaxy increases, we're all better together.
Yeah. We love you. Merry Christmas, pals.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye. Bye.